Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Me and ADHD. Today, gonna talk about this. Why do I keep forgetting words when I'm talking? And it's a problem that has plagued me for a very long time, and I never understood why. Um, but I always know that anxiety makes it a lot worse for me. So when my anxiety goes up, for whatever reason it is, just a little bit, because I've been put under pressure or I'm in a stressful situation due to be at work, or something like that, or I've been put on the spot sometimes as well. And I really do struggle with it, really. And it's an everyday occurrence. Um, but now I know about the ADHD. I've been looking a lot more regarding my journey and what's involved, and reading up on the things that can affect your speech. One of them is talking fast. So people with ADHD, they talk very, very quickly, um, and that's not something I tend to do. Um, I have trouble finding the words, so I don't tend to talk very quickly. As you can see and you can hear, I pause a lot trying to find the words. There are times, there are definitely times, and my parents will contest to this, that I have talked really quickly, and sometimes I'll mumble it as well because I'm just talking so quickly. But I don't. As a rule, I don't generally do that much. So most of my talking is a lot slower, as I'm talking to you right now. But a lot of people are like that as well. Not just the fast talking and constantly interrupting you when you are talking as well. Um, but it's challenging for myself, for people like myself, to find the words, because of the executive functioning, the working memory, attention regulation, and all of those things that goes on that we struggle with. Well, I struggle with. So it's not always as easy as to find the words. So these kind of like processes, these cognitive processes, do play a big role in language production and retrieval. Like I said, because I struggle with it, I struggle with the retrieval. Not always with the production of the language, so to speak, but definitely the retrieval of the words I really want to put in a sentence. Um, and there's lots of things that can sort of affect that. I mean, my anxiety, I know, from the different scenarios I've been in, be it from work or whatever it will be. The anxiety definitely makes a big difference. But also distractions, racing thoughts, difficulties in organizing information in the head, um, can make it difficult to retrieve that information. So if the filing system isn't very well organized, it's quite hard to get the details that you need. And because sometimes as well, when you join in a conversation, and I guess the impulsivity of it all is you start talking and not answering a question, I guess, before you've actually thought about it, and before I've got the whole answer into my head. Uh, and then by the time I get to like halfway into a sentence, I guess, to a word, usually a noun for whatever reason, that I'm going to forget, I don't get there. And a lot of time when I'm talking to you guys, like I was saying, I don't really have that much of a prompt or a script. I usually go off script anyway. Um, Occasionally I do, but like I said, I generally go off script because I guess the organization of the thoughts, and just the other thoughts going around in my head that take my attention away from what's written down. Um, it's kind of hard to put a full sentence together sometimes, but it can really interfere with the smooth um, retrieval of words, I guess, during conversation. So I do pause a lot. I do. You'll see the expressions on my face. I'll start looking up the scene because I'm really trying to find the word, because I haven't really thought about the rest of the sentence before I say it. Um, so I find that embarrassing a lot, I guess, um, especially when people ask me things that I should know the answer to because of, be it my background, or I've done a lot on this topic, or something. Um, so even when people ask me about ADHD, uh, I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of looking up of certain things. But if I'm explaining it to someone, there are certain words or certain phrases that I'm gonna it'll just be lost, and I'll struggle to find those words. And sometimes I look for other people to find the words for me. My wife is very good at that. Um, yeah, she tends to be able to know what I'm saying and fill in the gaps for me, which is really helpful. Um, so it's a tough one, and it's a really weird one because I mean my voice, as you probably know if you've been listening to my podcast, is not that far from being monotone. So putting extra pauses in there when I'm struggling to find the other words to say, well, it can either be a godsend to you because I'm not saying anything, or it could be just too much. Just don't want to listen. Enough's enough. Turn this off. I don't know. But at the moment, I don't have any answers. I don't know how I can change that. Um, like I say, for things like this, I occasionally make notes. I've made notes today. I have absolutely not stuck to script, um, at all. So so a lot of it I've missed because I'm going off in slight tangents and again trying to think of words, and trying not to look down at the screen so much, and look more at the camera. Um, and there's just too many things to think about, to take in. So, but some people call it a phenomenon. I don't know if I will call it a phenomenon. It sounds like it conjures up sort of visions of a wonderfully positive thing that has happened. I No, not for me. I find it soul destroying, I guess, confidence crushing. It kind of belittles you as a person, because it always sounds like you don't really know what you're talking about, or you're not confident in what you're saying. Um, it's it does play a lot on your self-esteem. When you can't hold a conversation with someone. Um, I guess it's okay. I find it okay when it's planned. We know what the conversation is going to be about, um, and there's a lot of, I guess, short answers, short questions. That's, I think, is better. But when there's a discussion and an explanation involved and things like that, it's harder. There's more words involved then, and also if it's something out of the blue as well. So if you caught me off guard with a question, that I wasn't expecting, it doesn't have to be a hard question at all, or personal, or anything. Just something that I wasn't expecting you to ask at that moment in time. then yeah, then that could be a trigger for that as well. Um, but hey ho, it's one of those things. I'm still learning, um, trying to deal with. I guess as I keep on researching and keep on looking at things and talking to people, I'm going to find ways I could hopefully get around that. And the medication does help. The medication definitely helps because it helps my concentration, not just on what other people are saying, because that's another issue as well. Because if having a conversation and someone else is talking and explaining, yeah, as I said before, just not going to have an idea what they're saying, what they're saying, um, and then again, it's then very hard to then catch up and try and answer the question they've asked you because you don't really know what the question is. So you then try to beat around the bush a little bit and and then soften it and just kind of give a really nondescript answer just to try and get around the fact that you have no idea what they just asked you. That happens a lot. But it's it's something that hopefully I'll find ways to master and just stop that from happening as much as possible. Um, I know what happens. I mean, if I'm on a phone call, um, what I will do is I'll write down words that I know I'm going to forget. If I phone up, I don't know, if I phone up work, I guess, or if I phone up uh, telephone um, provider or TV provider for whatever reason, um, I will I will write words down. Um, yeah, so if I have questions, I'll write certain words down, not the whole question, but just certain words to make sure I do not forget those certain words when they crop up. That happens a lot as well. I'm putting things in place, kind of putting things in place to kind of, I guess, counteract that and manage that. But if I can find ways to manage what's going on in my head to the point where I can re- remember and recall the words a lot better, that would be an absolute bonus. Like I said, the medication does help with the focus and everything, so it's not as bad with the medication. But when the medication comes off, especially in the evenings when it wears off, I do get medication rebound quite a bit. So for the first hour or so after it's worn down, so 8 to 9 o'clock at night, depending on when I've taken my last dose. Um, yeah, when it sort of dies down, then it sometimes feels like my head is absolutely scrambled, and putting a sentence together, I find quite hard at times. It's not just a word or a phrase. Sometimes it's a sentence. It's just no, but it's not there. I'll just put my hand up and go, just hold on, so I can try and calm myself down. Take my mind off the question or whatever it is until I feel ready, and then I'll answer it, which can be seconds, it could be minutes. Yeah, imagine how frustrating that is talking to me at night. So, luckily, my wife is very forgiving and very patient, so which is handy. Because if she wasn't, that would be more pressure, more anxiety, and it'll make it all a lot worse. But yeah, so that's me. I don't know if any of you guys have the same thing, and how bad it is. I don't know if what I go through is typically severe or mild. Haven't got a clue. I know other people do have the same sort of issues, but how bad they are, I don't know. I don't know. I've never had that conversation regarding word retrieval, so I don't know if I don't really have much to complain about, or I've got it horrifically bad in comparison. But it'd be nice to know how you guys get on with it. Um, Let me know what you do to help manage it. Um, have you done things to stop it from happening? I really want to know what that is if you have. But it would be great. It would be great to have your feedback about this subject, because that's something I really want to change. It's all good knowing the information about what it is and why, but this is something I really would like to change, because it's one of the reasons really I don't like talking. I I don't know. I know you're sitting there going, "What are you doing a podcast?" Yeah, I know. Before the medication, I wouldn't be doing this podcast, as I've said before. But I am. It's one of the big reason why I don't like doing the live streams. Hate doing the live streams. I've done some. I don't like doing it because I do struggle, and I find it a lot harder to cope with. So the editing bit, what I'm doing now, I'm recording this. I'll edit a little bit just to make it more bearable for you guys to listen to, but I won't edit it a lot, because at the same time I want to keep it as real as possible. So I don't edit out all the silences or anything. I might just shorten the time that I'm silent for, I think. But because I want it to be as real as possible, but at the same time I don't want you to switch off after a few seconds. So it's a fine line, I think. So hope you guys are okay. I think it feels like it's been a while since I've done a podcast. But I really do hope you guys are good. You've had a good weekend. And, like I've always said, guys, just remember, be good, be kind, and you're most definitely not alone. See you later.